So welcome to another Q&A episode 26 of Secrets of the Obvious. And again, thank you for sending your questions in, and I will try and answer them as well as I can. Start right away. First question is, hello Lou, thanks for all the content you share. Could you please share your understanding of the script? Who dash what exactly wrote the script? I assume that myself had some input when choosing my next reincarnation lessons. The workbook lesson today, you have set the way I am to go, the role to take, and every step in my appointed path is perplexing, as I thought God had no idea of the content of my dream, and therefore his only script dash will for my guarantee return home, not not the specific actions of my dream. And can the script in the dream be changed? Okay, so remember the Course in Miracles, or any book or any teaching is still going to use symbology or symbols, words twice removed, to try and convey what's impossible to convey. Pure awareness, Christ mind, God's mind, pure spirit cannot communicate directly with consciousness, the dreaming mind. Yet we have the miracle of the Holy Spirit, which intercedes between our asleep mind and our awake mind. And of course, it has to be told in some form of a story. And one of the ways to say is the script is written. Now, in truth, we're just pure energy, ever extending. God's not a being, and we're not beings in God's being or God's kingdom, which is someplace in space. It's just pure, unconditionally loving energy extending eternally here now. It's inconceivable for our body, mind, brains to get there. The closest we get is to move into pure awareness, silence, stillness, gratitude. And where there's silence, there's stillness. Silence is, Ramana Maharshi used to say, silence is truth. Stillness is God. And silence, stillness, and flow is the joyous being, the joyous lightness of one indivisible being, Father and Son are one. And it's using those terms, again, Father and Son. It's just pure energy, ever extending. But we need story so that we can, through space and time, through what appears to be linear time, start to comprehend or drop our old beliefs and start to comprehend a new way of looking at things until all questioning starts, all acceptance is, no resistance to what is, and the joyous lightness of being flows through us in our everyday lives. But so is there a script? Is there a story of people and places and events that happened? And nah, none of that's really happening. None of that really happened. It's just no matter what happens in your dreams at night. Did you script your dream before you fell asleep? Do you decide every night before you fall asleep what your dream's going to be and who the characters are going to be and how they're going to play them out? No, your subconscious mind just spits out characters and they pop up in your dream, and you play based on the condition that you fell asleep. If you fall asleep angry, you have angry dreams. If you fell asleep happy, you have a happy dreams. That's really, as above, so below. If you pay close attention to your night dreams, you'll realize they're reflections of your inner condition while you're in your dream wake state. Realize this. Our collective dreaming mind, what we call consciousness, which is the substrate in which the entire universe appears. The entire universe is not only consciousness, it appears in consciousness. So everything that appears and disappears appears in consciousness. And characters, activity, space, time is the activity of consciousness. And consciousness, the dreaming mind, is continually writing the script, but the script it's writing is the exact same script. It's writing the same script over and over again because it's fractured its energy itself into gazillions of thoughts that have taken form, thought forms, thoughts in form. It seems to be playing out the same script in gazillions of different ways through gazillions of different body minds, but the story is exactly the same. And it's playing out right now, and it's imagining it right now. So consciousness is the realm of imagination. Awareness is the realm of pure vision. And never do the two cross over. That's why when we're in silent stillness and gratitude, in abidance, in offering ourselves to be of service to ourselves, in awakening to self, we become inspired and we get vision. That means we're in right-minded awareness. Vision comes through and only in right-minded awareness. And then we apply vision in consciousness, which is how we live out our joyous, passionate, Christ-minded nature. So the mind, while it appears to be dreaming, remember the dream's already over. We're looking upon this dream at the end of it, looking backwards on it as if it's still happening. And why are we still looking back on it as if it's still happening? Because we haven't forgiven ourselves for a tiny moment in time when we had a tiny mad idea in which we forgot not to laugh and fear crept into our dream and we then got stuck in it. So the dream is repeating. It's on a loop. It plays out the same sequence. And the first sequence is we fell asleep, and therefore we move straight into forgetfulness. Forgetfulness, separation. We fractured ourselves into billions of beings. There's layers in sequence that it happens. But of course, this all happens in a tiny instant, and it all unhappens and dissolves in a holy instant. So it seems to be going on. So forgetfulness, separation. Because we can't remember what created us, and there's a longing to return to whatever created us, we feel that whatever created us must have rejected us. So our first feeling of separation is feeling rejected. And rejection comes from a sense of unworthiness. We feel rejected because we start to believe. Belief enters the dream, perception, misperception. We must have done something wrong. We're not good enough. Um, you know, we've been abandoned, we've been rejected, not good enough, and we feel unworthy, not good enough. And that's when the comparisons start, the competition starts, the scarcity starts. And we believe we must have done something wrong. We're being punished, others are to blame. And we get angry and then we feel guilty. We think we've sinned, we've done something wrong. We're guilty because we feel guilty because we've done something wrong. And therefore we're going to be punished. Sin, fear, guilt. That's the sequence of the dream. And it's playing out through 8 billion characters. If you look around you, every single character, every single human being is playing out the conceptual idea of sin, fear, guilt in a myriad of ways. And it's all got to do with unworthiness, not good enough. And of course, there's the myriads of spin-offs from that, which is the loneliness, the abandonment, the rejection, the fear of death, and so forth and so forth. That's the tiny mad idea playing out on a loopy loop, trying to make us believe that we have some form of control over it. Scriptures written means you fell asleep, we woke up. That's it. Don't go too deep into it. And next time you find yourself questioning that type of depth, who wrote the script, and God isn't supposed to know the script, but now it's stop yourself and go, okay, who's asking that question? Who needs to know who wrote the script? Ultimately, it doesn't matter who wrote the script, how you fell asleep, whether you fell asleep, whether you didn't fall asleep, whether you made the universe, whether you didn't make the universe. None of this is important. What's important is your peace of mind. What's important is your state of heart, your state of awareness. Are you kind? Are you compassionate? Are you considerate? Are you being loving even when the world appears not to be? Do you genuinely care about others and self equally? Not a doormat. Are you sacrificing yourself to appease others? Or are you serving but being true to self? There's only one step in the script, one little line in the script. Forgive to remember. That's it. And what are you forgiving? You're forgiving yourself, in essence, for dreaming a dream that never happened. But while you figure that out, until you figure that out, when you get to that point where you realize, not true, never happened, and you'll get there. All of us do. In the meantime, just forgive the activities. Forgive whatever has pissed you off. Forgive whoever's annoyed you. Forgive whatever memory still haunts you. Forgive. What is forgive? Forgive the obstacles to peace, which means understand them. Understand how all the difficulties in your life, current, past, and what you imagine to be future, are there to serve you in awakening to self. If your dream was paradise, you wouldn't know you're dreaming, and you'd miss out on the realization of what yourself is, what you've always been. Of course, you can't, nothing sleeps forever. So you're going to awaken. So be careful not to get too trapped up in the semantics and the story and the deepest, the meaning. The course is going to take you through highs and lows as it turns you upside down like a washing machine over and over and over again. Choose again, choose again, choose again. And ultimately, you're choosing to forget all of this, to stop the search, to be as you are, to be authentic, to be the joyous lightness of being, to be yourself as gently and kindly and compassionately as you can be, and to add to our collective joy by being joyous, by being peaceful, by bringing peace into every room you walk into, every situation. Be the light, be the kindness. Not always easy. The world's going to try and knock you down all the time. There's traffic and there's bills to pay and there's shopping centers, there's rude people. And hey, it's okay. At the end of the day, it's already over. Like I said, God has only one single script for you: forgive, to remember. There's an ancient memory in all of us, and that's why we often say the Holy Spirit's the memory for God, the voice for God, memory of God. But there's an ancient memory in all of us that knows what it is, what truth is, and that's what we yearn for. The reality is it's closer than close. It's in our right mind, not in our dreaming mind. And yet, right mind and wrong mind or dreaming mind are still one mind. So it's in your mind, it's within you. The Christ self, your Holy Spirit, is you. The substrata in which the universe appears consciousness is a misperception of awareness. So whatever we perceive of as people, places, things, and events, subjects, and objects in the universe is just misperceived awareness, a misperceived awareness, consciousness, activity. It's already there. You already know. It's what you are. Excuse me. So scripts written means you're already awake. And I'll allude into that a little deeper in the next question, because it leads on quite beautifully. So what does it mean? And and then as we misperceive, then next thing we're looking at, we've heard someone wrote about the Akashic records. And like, oh, if I find the Akashic records and someone can channel my Akashic records, I know what the script holds out for me. You know what the script holds out for you? Choose again. I could see peace instead of this. That's it. This world means nothing. There's no meaning in this world. Everything I see, I've given meaning to it. So let me rather give it the meaning of everything is now an echo, a memory for what I am and what God is. That's the meaning I'm giving to everything. Let everything become a mirror of my true Christ self. What better meaning could there be? What do I know? How's the script going to play? The reason we're unhappy is we focus on the obstacles to peace as opposed to the joyous lightness of being. I hope this is going to bring you closer to understanding. You rewrite the script every time you choose love, every time you choose joy, every time you forgive. Remember, forgiveness is the equivalent of unconditional love in heaven. And so you're forgiving to remember you are you are unconditional love. Rewriting the script, or you want to rewrite the story, that's fantasy again. Imagination. You want to make it better? You want to make this lifetime better? No, you want to make this lifetime present. Present is better. There's no try and rescript it. Just be present. Being present is rescripting it. That's it. Holy instant. If you're present now, there is no script to worry about. There's no future to worry about. There's no past to concern yourself over. Being present, being grateful, being quiet, being still. That's the answer. Don't worry about who wrote the script. In essence, ego wrote the script. Holy Spirit rewrites it with every moment you're present. Hopefully that sort of gives you clarity. Thanks for the question. And this question leads on from the first one. Different person, perfect timing. It's amazing, the synchronicity. Dear Lou, long story. How do I become aware of awareness? Okay. I want to awaken to self. This person, based on the story she's told me, really is searching and has been dedicating her life to it, even so far as quitting her job to find a more peaceful job. Of course, no peace came with the little job, just less salary, and now you got stress somewhere else. I want to know what I am. Please help. Don't quit your job. You think that you have stress at your job, and so you quit your job and take a lesser job. Then you have stress because you can't pay the bills. Stress is there anyway. Just where you are, doing exactly what you're doing. We look at teachers like Ramana Maharishi, in an ashram, blah, blah, blah. If that was to be meant to be your script, you would have been born in an ashram. You would have been born in India. You've been born in Italian countryside, and your parents couldn't afford to feed you, so they dropped you off at the monastery. That's what would have happened. The fact that you find yourself in suburbia or in a city or whatever the case may be, you're exactly where you're meant to be. One piece of the collective puzzle playing out a vital role in our collective awakening. Don't wish to be anywhere else. Don't give anything up. Nothing to sacrifice. Obviously, it needs to serve your peace of mind, but what's in the way is the way. So, and then once you realize that, you'll find naturally the path of least resistance falls into your lap. So you want to become aware of awareness. You already are. The very fact that you're aware that you're searching for awareness means you are aware. If I was to ask any of you watching this video right now or watching it live, are you aware? Your answer is, of course I am. I'm aware. You're talking. I'm watching the screen, the video, the phone. I'm aware. That's it. You are aware. That's it. You're aware. You've just placed your awareness where it shouldn't be. You've placed your awareness in the activity of your dream. So your awareness is sunken into consciousness. And then you've mistaken what yourself is. You are aware. The self is always aware. Are you aware? Answers I am. You're just uncertain that I am, that pure awareness, that silent stillness is the essence of what you are. Because you've been told it's bliss and it's exciting and heaven is amazing. It's just peaceful. It's because you wanted amazing that you fell asleep and dreamt up shit. You wanted excitement. Peace wasn't good enough for the holy little shit son of God. We all are. We wanted excitement. We didn't want peace. And think about it. We were obviously young consciousness, young awareness. So we wanted to play. You are aware. Script's over. Dream's over. You are aware. You're aware. You're becoming consciously aware. You're aware of awareness. Look at your hands. Are you aware of your hands? Yeah. Are you aware of your head? Yes. You're aware of the room? Yeah. You're aware. You're just aware of what appears to be people, places, things, and events, obstacles, subject, objects. Now realize that what you perceive and looks like physical matter and space, in space and time, is just a misperception. If you moved into vision, it would just be light. The room would just be light. Your hands would be light. There would be nowhere you end and God begins, or where God ends and you begin, or where anyone ends and you begin. It will just all be light, all melt into one indivisible light. You're aware. Right now, you're just aware you're dreaming, and you've taken your dream content rather seriously. You're already awake, but you're focusing on the movie, and you're taking the movie seriously. Stop watching the movie. Stop paying attention. Get to a point where you can watch the screen, watch the activity screen silently, as if you've got earphones on. And eventually you can close your eyes and nothing. And then you can concentrate on the substrata, the screen itself, as opposed to the activities on the screen. And the minute you can slow down space-time in awareness, because in awareness, it's always here now, which means you slow down, you compress space-time into presence. And the minute you're present, there's no space-time, there's no linear, there's no activity. There's just the screen of awareness. You're not searching for awareness, you are awareness. Even while you misperceive yourself as a body-mind, you think you're observing the activities of your dream, or you're observing yourself observing. You're all of it, and you're aware. Your dreaming mind, our collective dreaming mind, is perceiving itself through you and I right now, through two different angles, two different perspectives, in order to keep the perspectives separate and therefore believe it's separate. We're seeing it. We're just misperceiving it. We're seeing it. Now let's imagine vision. Imagine I'm seeing just light. So we're still using the device which we use to separate from God, imagination. Now go be still and ask to be shown. And vision will show you. And that's really how we see the face of Christ. What's Christ? Pure light, not Jesus. Pure light. That's what Jesus realized. Pure awareness, pure Holy Spirit awareness, right-mindedness, Christ-mindedness, God awareness. Don't look, be. Stop searching, stop questioning, be still, be grateful. And when activities come, forgive. Inquire who's asking the question, who wants to know, and what's the benefit of knowing? Well, so you know who's wrote the script, you know how's it going to change what you are? Choose to be present, choose to give gratitude, choose to be joyous. Not the answer you want to hear, perhaps, but that's the truth. In a concession, it's words. Ultimately, the ultimate truth is silent stillness. And when you can abide in silent stillness, that then you eventually get up and go to work, chop wood, fetch water, feed the kittens. The awareness is all pervading. That is the yoga. That is the true infinite lightness of being, even while you appear in form, because it's just temporal, and it'll seem like time speeds up and time collapses on itself, and before you know it, it's time to put the body down and return to the pure awareness we are. I hope that brings you closer to peaceful clarity. Okay, question 3. Dear Lou, some teachers say that there is no I. Some teachers say that I am is the highest level of understanding. Can you please explain what they mean? These two schools of thought seem to contradict each other. They seem to. They don't. They're actually meant to be a progression. At the beginning of our separation, I am was the first thought of separation. I am. What became aware of I am? I became aware of I am. Who's this I that says I became aware of I am? I, the all-pervading present awareness. And I became aware of my presence as the presence I am. I became aware I am. Now say that to yourself. Use my words. I became aware I am. And the minute I concentrated on the activity of my I am, I fell asleep, and I am this and I am that and I'm this and I'm that. And I created an entire universe. And I think I am all of this. And then my next level, I forgot it. I forgot I am all of this. You get it? Let it sink in. As I awaken to myself, as I realize I am not this, I'm not that, I'm not that. Negation, the neti. No thanks. And so I fell asleep. I am this, that, and the other. I wake up to self. I am, full stop, silent stillness. And at some stage, I am, the am drops away. It's just I. And at some stage, even the I drops away and there's just pure awareness ever extending. Now, when certain teachers say, I am is the highest level of understanding, that's because they've reached that doorway. I am is the doorway to silent stillness, Tao Te Ching. The Tao that can be named is not the eternal Tao. And so that's where they're at. That's how far we get as body-mind, awakening to awareness, awakening to self. Then there's a teacher that has now dropped the I am and delved into the abyss, the void that's devoid of nothing. That's the fullness of God's almighty beingness. And as they come back out, they realize there's no I in God. And so now they bring it back into the world and they go, there's no I. Now be careful at what level you're reaching in the non-dual understanding, because if you say to someone still trapped in duality, there's no I, then the whole bloody thing is pointless and meaningless, and you take away any hope there is, and then people move into depression. That's why people that go into non-dual path by listening to non-dual teachers and try and leapfrog to that highest level of awareness without having dealt with their hidden shadows and done their shadow work and forgiveness work, they go depressed because then there's no meaning. So yes, ultimately there's no I, singularity, but I, identity, Even identity means one identity, oneness. Everything is one. So, in essence, there's only one I, and that's God's infinite beingness. But there's no I as character. In absolute reality, in dream reality, there is I. I am, here I am, and eventually I am, and eventually I, and eventually silence. So, as you listen to different schools of thoughts, you need to start putting the picture into like a step ladder and realize this one's teaching down here, and this one's teaching there, and this one's stepping up there. And very often, what you'll realize, those teaching up there dip into the lower realms, and those at the lower realms very often regurgitate higher stuff without understanding it. I am, full stop. God is. When you say God is, there is no I. There's no anything. There's just love. And you're it. And you are it. I hope that brings some clarity.